Greetings and welcome to another edition of the Sports Guys. I am Mesabi Daily News sports writer Mike Hautemaki. This is sports editor Jim Ramses.
Hey.
Is this number 5 now?
Number 5.
5th edition of the show.
We're on a roll.
We're going to try and get this week's edition up to double digits in views on our website. But what should we talk about first? Boys hockey?
Yeah. Interesting games this week.
Yeah, a couple of interesting games this week. I unfortunately was chained to the desk here on Tuesday night, so I couldn't go over and watch Virginia and International Falls. That was a big Iron Range Conference matchup over at the Miners. It was on the radio, so I listened to it, and it sounded like it was a really exciting game. Back and forth, a lot of great saves. Virginia actually had a good performance, put a lot of pressure on the Broncos, and came away with a 3-2 victory. That was their third straight win so far in the new year.
Yeah, that's just great to see.
Yeah.
For such a poor start, you know.
Yeah, they got 4 wins now, and big matchup coming up Saturday night over in Hibbing, another IRC game against the Blue Jackets. So,
any thoughts on how they might fare in that one?
I don't know. I mean, Hibbing's record isn't that great this year. I think they're only 8-7.
Okay.
They're still in the top 10 or 15 in the state rankings. But Virginia actually got some votes this week.
That's impressive.
Yeah. So, I guess, I don't know, hoping for a good game, and maybe Virginia can stretch their winning streak to 4 games. So, and you were over in Eveleth on Tuesday night?
Yeah, I went over to the Eveleth Gilbert, was hosting Ely, and that was quite a game. I would say Eveleth Gilbert, Mesabi East was a favorite going in, but Ely was 0-10 on the season, so it was quite a shock when Ely scored like 2 minutes into the game, and then a few minutes later they scored 3 goals in 25 seconds, and it was 4-0. I think that kind of put the game away, really. It's Eveleth Gilbert wasn't into the game, and Ely just took it to him. Bobby Schuster, he was just super fast and getting to every puck. The Ely was trying to break out all the time, and they were having a fair amount of success. Bobby Schuster scored twice. Louis Gurzine scored, and Bobby Schuster's had a hat trick. Actually, I forgot about that. So it was quite an amazing game and a big upset. I guess. We heard that it was only the second time in 40 years that Ely has beaten Eveleth Gilbert at the Hippodrome, so it was a big upset. It was fun to watch. It was fun to watch.
First time since 2007 that they'd beaten them? Yeah,
that's what we heard. And the coach, that was the second time the coach had beat him in 9 years, he said, so it was amazing. It was fun to watch.
Yeah.
And our other junior A hockey team is doing fairly well on the season. Had a big victory last night, I believe, right?
Yeah, coach called in, Chris Swalby, and just wanted to let us know that they had knocked off Minnesota Wilderness 2-1 in a shootout. The Wilderness are leading the Superior Junior International Hockey League.
Yes.
By quite a wide margin last time I checked, and the Iron Rangers hadn't beaten them yet this season, so it was nice to see him win in a shootout. Luke Karakis, or Karakis, I'm not quite sure how you pronounce his name, but
right, me neither.
He came through with the game winner. The Iron Rangers are just at the moment just fighting for playoff seeding, so hopefully they can keep picking up some big wins.
Yeah, it looks like it. I mean, they've made great strides compared to last season, and that's another fun team to watch. In the prep girls basketball, Mountain Iron Buell continues to dominate the competition, and this week they played Nashwauk-Keewatin on Monday night. It wasn't much of a game. They won 98-38, but it was the Spartan strategy against them was pretty unique. Nashwauk-Keewatin, on every play, they kept one of their girls back at the free throw line, so it gave Mountain Iron Buell a 5-4 advantage on the offense every time, and so it was just a matter of a pass or two, and they had a wide open shot. So I didn't quite understand the strategy. I guess in the second half they started throwing the ball all the way down to the other end, hoping to get a few easy baskets, They did get a few more, but not nearly enough.
Yeah. I guess when you're overmatched against the #1 team in the state, try something, see if it works. But
Yeah.
I don't know, strange.
Yeah, they were just going for broke, I think, with that one.
Yeah.
So, and the Rangers, they're 11-1 on the season, still ranked #1 in the state, but they got a couple tough matchups this week. Thursday they take on Northwoods. They're number 10 in the state. They're 11-2, and then they on Saturday they're going to be up against Maranatha Christian Academy, who they played in the state title game last year. So it should be a fun game for girls basketball, that's for sure.
Definitely going to be a fun week.
Yeah, get them some competition and some good games to watch.
Switching gears now, we're going to talk about the return of the NHL in a minute, but first I got to kind of go on a little rant here about college football.
Get something off your chest.
Yeah, maybe. I'm seeing all these stories about these coaches, Brian Kelly from Notre Dame, Chip Kelly from Oregon, Bill O'Brien from Penn State. They're flirting with jumping to the NFL.
Right.
Bill O'Brien came first, because obviously Penn State wasn't eligible for a bowl this year.
Mm-hmm.
So you started hearing stories about him going back to the NFL. He was with the Patriots before.
Oh.
But he flat out denied all the stories. He said, no, I'm not that kind of guy. I'm not bailing on these kids. And he just, coaches do it every year. He just used it as a leverage ploy.
Yeah, sure.
And at the end of the day, he ended up staying at Penn State and getting, I think it was $1.5 million raise and other concessions for the athletic department. That part of it really didn't bother me. I mean, if the university's dumb enough to give him a raise because they think he's going to leave, he wasn't going to leave. They had built a $20 million buyout into his contract.
Oh, yeah.
No NFL team was going to touch that.
No, nobody can afford that.
Yeah, but, I mean, just the situation that he was in there at Penn State. I mean, they had the whole Sandusky fiasco, and
right.
He came and talked to those kids on the football team, convinced a lot of them to stay instead of jumping ship.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It would have obviously been a Bush League move for him to bail on them after 1 year and go back to the NFL.
Big time.
But for him to even, for that subject to even come up after 1 year, just kind of rubbed me the wrong way. The idea of him leaving the university after 1 year.
Yeah.
And then
it's not much loyalty anymore
no.
with these coaches. It's all, it's a lot about the money and just winning.
Money, winning, recruits. Brian Kelly was another one. He got taken to the woodshed by Nick Saban in Alabama in the BCS title game. And right away there were reports that he was talking with the Philadelphia Eagles about becoming their head coach. And everything since then, he's not jumping to the NFL, and everything since then is that he's going to get a raise and an extension out of it.
Yeah, when you get blasted in the title game.
Yeah, I wish I could get embarrassed on national television and then get a raise and an extension out of it,
Yeah, kind of demand a raise, more or less.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's ridiculous.
Just something that bothered me. Well, these universities and coaches have to learn it's more than money,
Yeah, when are they going to learn that, though? I mean, that's...
The money keeps rolling in.
That's right.
So.
That's right. We keep watching.
Yep.
And also on the hockey front, we had the NHL lockout was finally solved, and Minnesota Wild are going to be back on the ice pretty soon. I know Mike's pretty happy about that, with the Suter and Parisi back on the ice, and see what they can do. Everybody's talking Stanley Cup, and so we'll see what they can do. Do you think the lockout has hurt their prospects at all, Mike?
I don't know. They got a lot of new parts, Parisi, Suter, but other guys too. And
yeah, younger guys.
Yeah, Granlund, he's probably going to stick on the NHL roster this year, and just some other guys that they signed from other clubs. They only have a 48-game season this year to see how everything fits.
Yeah.
And they have high expectations, and I don't know.
It might take them a few games just to get used to each other, of course.
Yeah, I think Mike Yo is going to have to push all the right buttons. Last year he pushed all the wrong buttons.
Okay.
The second half of the year they were horrible.
Uh,
So, I don't know. It was obviously exciting for all Wild fans in July. It was like Christmas
yeah,
when we heard that they had signed both Parisi and Suter.
that was quite a day.
Yeah, but it was like getting your presents and not being able to open them. So, finally we get to open them and see what they're all about.
Yeah. So you're happy the lockout's over, and I guess just related to that, are you going to be watching the games? Are you going to hold a grudge against the NHL?
I don't know. I still think Gary Bettman should be fired. I mean,
I agree.
4 work stoppages in the last 20 years. 3 of them under his watch, or
Yeah.
was it 4 under his watch?
I'm not sure.
But they've lost thousands of games over the years, and compared to the other major sports leagues in this country, that they can't afford to tick off their fan base.
Yeah, you wouldn't think so.
And they keep willingly doing it every 10, 12 years.
So yeah, it tells me the owners got plenty of money when they say they don't. So
Yeah, I mean, I'll be watching, but they got to make sure this doesn't happen again. Something's got to change.
yeah, I agree. And that should about do it for the 5th show of the Sports Guys. You can also look forward to the coverage of the Hockey Day in Minnesota out of Grand Rapids. We'll have video coverage and photos as well as stories from the Grand Rapids newspaper. You can look for that at virginiamn.com and in Sundays on the 20th, Mesabi Daily News. And for your daily sports coverage, you can look to us on Twitter. Mike is Houts81 and myself is Jim Rom 2012. So look for us on Twitter. We'll be giving live updates from games, and I hope you enjoy it. Thank you.